What's up everyone, Nick from ResoNix Sound Solutions here, and before we get into this video, I'm just going to show you some three very helpful and very inexpensive products that we have. First one is going to be ResoNix butyl rope, second being our ResoNix CCF decoupler tape, and the third being the OEM Volkswagen and Audi wire harness tape that we offer. So the butyl rope is really helpful, it's very versatile, very inexpensive for what it is. I like to use it for treating like door panels and other various plastic panels that have a lot of overlapping parts and also a lot of plastic clips. You can use it to help stuff in, very tight tolerance areas that you can use to help prevent them from rattling against each other. You can see it all over this door panel here. There's all these different areas that I've highlighted. Here's another area submitted by a customer. This is just some overlapping plastic on the back of a door panel, and also, awesome for plastic clips, helping hold them into place to prevent them from buzzing and rattling. On B-pillar trim, this is really common to have rattles in this area. You can use it in B-pillar trim to prevent all of the overlapping parts from buzzing against each other and creating those little rattles and distortions right in your ear. Other little various parts that I've used it in. It's also really common to use on the space between crash bars and outer door skins. This can help turn your crash bar into a, stabilizing piece for your outer door skin to prevent it from resonating as much. You could do this before you apply your CLD, and again, just helps take it that much further. The CCF decoupling tape. This is really useful for, again, decoupling tight tolerance areas. But you would use this in areas where you still need removability. Butyl rope is more of a product that you use when, it's just going in that area and that part doesn't really get taken apart. But, here's a perfect example. This is on the rear deck of a Volvo, and these were like the little covers for the tie downs for like baby seats. These plastic panels, actually, you could see them right here. This was the panel that sits right into here. Perfect little spots for it. This plastic was gonna buzz and rattle all day, and the CCF decoupler tape was perfect for it. You can use it in trim for like sunglass visors. You can use it indoors. We also offer the full sheets, but we're not gonna really discuss that. One customer even used it to make these foam washers to use around his panel clips. Really smart idea. I actually love that. And yeah, very versatile product, very inexpensive for how much you get out of it. And then lastly, the OEM Volkswagen and Audi wire harness tape. It's right in the name, use it as a wire harness tape. I use it, anywhere cables are really exposed to just help make them blend in and look factory. But you can also use it inside of doors or behind panels to help prevent those, harder OEM wires from rattling and buzzing against your plastic panels. So now that we have that, let's get into this video. Thank you for listening. Hey everyone, Nick from ResoNix Sound Solutions here at Luke Ouellet's Fall 2024 get-together up in Maine. And I am here with you. Who are you and what do you got here?
My name's Chris, and I have a 1987 RX-7.
Cool. Tell me more about it. What's going on back here?
Not too much. This was sort of an old school build, low power. This is a car I take to the track occasionally, so I didn't want to add a bunch of weight. And the weight I did add, I wanted to be able to remove quickly.
Okay. So why don't you show us what you have in the back here?
Okay.
So it's stock.
Yep. Oh, there's nothing in here.
There's just nothing in there. All right, interview over. All right. So what do we have here?
So this is an ADS PH10. It's a 6-channel, 20 watts per channel. Came out in, I believe, 1987. So
same year as the car?
A couple years after the car. I did look at stuff from 85 and decided I was going to move a couple years later for the equipment.
Okay.
We also have a set of Boston Acoustics 6x9s. These came as a kit. I think the kit was called 793. It was one of the first separates or component sets to be released on the market back in the 80s. Prior to that, you basically had coaxial speakers, and that was your option.
Really? So these are just mid-bass drivers, or?
So it's a mid-bass driver. They came with passive crossovers, and you have a 4-inch in the front and a tweeter in the front.
Oh, so no sub in here?
No sub. They called them subwoofers.
Okay.
Back in
Do they
87.
play pretty low, or?
They play down to 50 hertz.
Okay.
You're not going to get
mid-bass driver.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's by modern standards, it's a mid-bass driver. I mean, we all know what a 6x9 is capable of.
Yeah.
These are not doing any magic. They weren't doing it back then. They're not doing it now. So,
but if you ask anyone else from the 80s, they would swear that they're magic.
Oh yeah, 6x9s were the best in the 80s.
Yeah.
You know? So this set was probably marketed towards people that had a sedan where they had 6x9s on the back deck. They have pretty high QTS. They're really supposed to be run open baffle. But instead what I did was put a 24-inch round MDF panel right where the spare tire would normally go, and drilled a hole to use the spare tire mount, and then put the hole for the 6x9s. And there's nothing underneath it, so that when I pull this out, it's just bare shell.
Cool. And that is your, goal for it is lightweight, easy to remove.
Yep.
Cool. Is there anything else going on back here, or that's pretty much
so underneath this panel, which I'm not going to remove for the video, we have a Dayton Audio 408 DSP.
Okay.
That has Bluetooth input, and I got the remote up front in the center console, where there used to be a one of those joystick faders that was very popular in the 80s. So that came out, and I put the DSP volume knob in there. And then I also have a small 2-channel Class D amp just for the rear fill, because this was only 6 channels and I wanted 8.
Okay.
So we got 8 channels running, but only 20 watts times 2 for bass, 20 watts times 2 for mids, 20 watts times 2 for tweeters.
All right, so speaking of mids and tweeters, why don't we hop up front? I'll hop in the driver's seat, you hop in the passenger, and we take a look at what's going on. Maybe we fold this down so we could get some light. Also, nice engine bay. Neat. All right. Oh. All right, yeah, this thing is definitely old. So what's going on? I don't even see any mid-range in tweeter. What do you got them in the kicks?
I'm going to have to put my flashlight on so you can see, probably.
All right.
So
oh, yeah, they are.
What we have is part of that matching set is a Boston 4-inch. That's the factory location, tucked up underneath there. It's equivalent to open baffle. If you were listening earlier to me giving demos, you can actually hear the mid-range coming from the cowl in the front.
Is that why it's kind of relatively loud outside?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that sound goes right through, and it's basically open baffle for those mids.
So where's this controller you were talking about? Right here.
Right
okay.
here.
I was looking up here. Cool. That's done pretty cleanly.
Yeah.
So it's
close the door, otherwise we're going to get a buzz.
Yeah. Look at that. Clean. Easy. This isn't the same car I saw last year, right?
Nope. So last year I came here with an 86 Toyota MR2. That's my wife's car.
Right. Okay. I was like, I don't remember this dashboard.
No, yeah, we had the flat dashboard with the 4s up high in the MR2.
Okay. So let me ask you, clearly you've done systems. I heard your camper van. I heard your MR2. I haven't heard this yet. You have multiple cars. You've been doing this for a while. If, you're into the 80s stuff. What do I want to ask exactly? I guess, did the period correct equipment prompt you to also go period correct style of installation, or was it out of necessity for keeping things relatively stock?
I definitely wanted to keep with the style that was popular in the 80s.
Okay.
So I chose the vinyl. Obviously this color is absolutely 80s.
Yeah.
Various shades of burgundy /
I think it
wine.
is illegal to make this color now because they outdid it so much in the 80s.
Yeah, well, I don't know, maybe the luxury cars is coming back as like inserts in your seats and stuff.
Yeah,
which would be
true.
nice because these aftermarket seats don't quite match. You can't get burgundy wine aftermarket seats right now, and that would be great if I could, because I'd swap these out in a heartbeat.
They are comfortable, though.
Yeah, well, the factory seats were those plush, folded leather, super cushy.
Okay.
But I'm a tall guy, and they were taking up too much space, and I need to be able to fit in here with a helmet, so
Yeah.
Those had to go.
Okay. So what have you done in other vehicles? Or maybe, have you learned anything from doing installs in other vehicles that really helped you make the most out of how limiting this install really was? 20 watts on mid-bass, which are in the rear. mid-range and tweeters in the kick panels. Like what, or is it more so like, hey, like we just have to do it and like that's kind of it because this is what the car is? Or were there very meticulous steps along the way as far as like designing for sound?
Well, I mean, people that know the old school stuff, kick panels was the way to do things before there was time alignment. And I kind of didn't want to hack the dash. This is an old car. If I were to cut holes in the dash, and put a specific tweeter in it, I would immediately regret it if I didn't like the way it sounded.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't know how something's going to sound until you're done with it.
Yeah.
So I do things in very small phases when I'm doing installs. I will first start with just replacing the speakers and see where that goes.
Okay.
For a while, I ran this factory head unit to like a small 4-channel amp and some aftermarket speakers.
You played this head unit?
I did, and it's, you got
What, do you still have cassettes somewhere?
Oh, yeah, we got cassettes,
you do?
man. You want to listen to some Milli Vanilli later?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
How about some Great White?
I was like almost kidding, like, what, you have cassettes somewhere?
Yeah, we
Here
got,
you are.
Peter Gabriel, we got some Pink Floyd, Bon Jovi, Michael Jackson. I heard people listen to this earlier. It's a great album.
Oh, my God.
Even on cassette.
You really are an 80s boy, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
But, yeah, the cassette player works.
Cassettes.
The radio, when the power antenna wants to go up, the radio works. But
it's funny. Some of these guys, like, still carry around CD books, and I'm like, what is that guy doing? And here you are, still carrying around cassettes.
Oh, yeah.
That's fucking crazy. That's pretty cool, though.
Yeah. I mean, it's more of a gimmick these days, but it does work.
It's still cool, though. And I'm guessing it literally has an EQ built in right in the head unit as well.
Yep, this is factory. This is a factory premium system made by Clarion.
Wow.
And they boasted 25 watts times 4 factory amplification.
That's more than what you got now.
Well, that's what they were claiming. I think that was max wattage because I put it on the bench and we were getting like 12 watts a channel.
Yeah.
And like 50%.
It's pretty much pre-out voltage of a modern radio.
Yeah, the distortion was like through the roof. I knew they sounded bad, and I had to put them on the bench to test them to verify what the bottom line bad sounding stereo looks like on a chart, and it's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad. That's the end result. It's pretty bad.
So when I test other things, that is the lowest standard. It's like, do I throw this out or do I maybe sell it or whatever? But that's the low point in my bench testing.
So I guess before we get out of here, is there anything else about this vehicle that we didn't go over as far as the sound system or anything else is really concerned? Or maybe anything that you learned along the way of doing this install that could help someone else that's watching this?
I mean, this is the Dayton 4.8 DSP, which is probably the most affordable DSP you can get. I was looking to kind of keep this within a budget because it is more of a track car than it is a sound quality competitor car. Mm-hmm. And I was surprised how well that performed. I mean, it doesn't have a lot of the features that the more expensive ones have, but I think it's $160 at Parts Express right now. You got to pay a little bit more for the controller and the Bluetooth input, but for that price point, I'm very impressed, and it's going to be hard for me to pay more for something else until someone shows me exactly what this is missing.
Cool. Anything else, or is that all we got?
Oh, unless you want to talk about
cassettes.
Engine mods and cassettes.
You know what? Let's see it. I'm sure people would love to see engine mods.
There's your 80s buzzer.
Oh, should I turn that off?
Yeah.
How do I? There we go.
It's a key, buddy.
There we go. Yeah,
it's not that old.
I know. Well, I thought it had one of those buttons like my old car. All right. So what do we got here?
Rotary fanatics know what this is, but for everyone else, this is a Mazda 12A twin rotor.
Okay.
1.1 liters.
Neat.
It's been upgraded with aftermarket fuel injection, Adaptronic ECU, twin 1000cc injectors. I got a direct fire ignition that's controlled by the ECU. So each of the 4 spark plugs get their own spark advance and everything like that. So I got all the tuning I can do with a tiny little motor. No turbos here. This is just all NA power.
Cool.
It made about 130 horsepower on the dyno. It'll lap Lime Rock Park in about 1 minute 8 seconds.
Wow. That's pretty neat. So considering how old it is, I'm guessing this is the same car Jesus drove around?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jesus had some style.
Yeah, it's style. All right. I guess that's pretty much it, right?
Yeah.
I guess, what the hell is this thing? What is this big tube?
That's just to get some cold air to the intake.
Oh, my, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a second, what is going on here? But cool. Chris, thanks for showing us your car, and we'll see you out there.
Yeah.
All right.